We're here with Beth Jackson. She's running for Troup County School Board. Beth, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Beth Jackson. I am originally from Hogansville, born and raised. I've been in this community my entire life. My background is in human services with a concentration on adolescents and children. Um, I worked for Head Start for about 7 years, so I got to see the needs of our community and especially with education. I've done that for about 7 years, and I just recently transitioned to a corporate job, but my heart is still with the community.
Okay. And what has led you to want to run for school board?
I have a 2-year-old son, and he is my miracle baby, and he means the world to me. And I want the schools in this county to be ready for him. And if I feel like they're good enough for my child, they're good enough for everybody else's child. I just want to see our school system progress in a major way.
Okay. And do you think that Troup County school system is capable of world-class education and seeking excellence?
Absolutely. With the right people in place, the sky's the limit. I mean, you're only good as your worst employee. If we can hire and retain great employees, I mean, there are so many great teachers in our school system now. Not only that, we need a superintendent that is for our community and that is for everybody in our community, and that we don't have a cookie cutter school system. That doesn't work. It's outdated, and we need to progress in that way.
Okay. And if you're elected to the school board, you'll be new to the position. So we're going to have potentially three new school board members, definitely two, and we're going to have a new superintendent as well. What will you do to ramp up quickly to be able to make a positive impact?
I've always been a voice for the voiceless, and I've always stood up for what I believed in and what is right. So I have no problem and no qualms about standing up for our kids and implementing or working with my constituents, to implement new and exciting things for our kids and wanting them to learn to love to learn again.
Yeah, yeah. With that, there are some students that don't love school. There are students that learn in different ways that need more hands-on learning versus, in the classroom or, just books.
Absolutely.
How do you create a diverse learning environment and challenge all students?
So that is a big goal for me. So all kids learn in different ways. We have to meet the kids where they're at. Speaking in a forum the other day, the sentiment remains the same. You can't expect a child that comes from chaos to learn the same as a kid that comes from a loving, normal home. So with that, we have to implement new things, mentor programs where actually kids that that don't want to go to college. We need to partner with our community sponsors like Jackson Heating and Air, things like that, where kids can actually learn a trade instead of hitting the books every day. That doesn't work for every child. And, you don't have to have a college degree to do some of these things that are necessary and that these kids love to do. So just implementing like mentorship programs, reaching out to community sponsors to have them step up and work with the kids that need help, that maybe don't want to hit the books, that want to work and help support their family. Apprenticeship programs, things like that are major in some cities where kids are they advance quickly and they have jobs, and you don't have to worry about at 18 when this mother puts this child out on the street with no experience. They don't know how to change a tire. They don't know how to fix a sink. But we have so many amazing community members that know how to do these things, that are willing to help and support the kids.
What is your opinion of Think Academy? Do you think it needs to be expanded in offering more, or do you think that it's been a success? And what is your opinion on charter schools?
So Think Academy is great. I think Miss Pike is doing an amazing job out there. I know for sure. I mean, even my nieces went to Think Academy, and they learned so much and actually helped them further themselves before even, leaving high school. They had college credits, and I think that's an amazing program to do. Now, with charter schools can be good. I mean, Ron Clark Academy, amazing charter school. But, I mean, in reality, charter schools are hard. I mean, I know at least 41% of charter schools lose funding and close because of the funding issue. So when you think about charter schools, you have to think about the funding. You have to think about, are the teachers actually certified teachers? Where's the finances coming from? Are they going to, how long-term are the finances that are coming in? I mean, charter schools can be great, but charter schools can also be a disaster. So it just depends on if the right person are in the right places for those charter schools to succeed. But I think public school systems do a great job, and I don't think there's a need for charter schools in our area. I think that if we poured in all of our resources to our schools the way we should, that we would have an amazing school system.
Okay, great. How do you see the need for collaboration with the school system, Troup County government, and the city of Hogansville, LaGrange, West Point, and the Economic Development Authority? Do you think there needs to be structured collaboration, or just phone calls, or how would you implement something like that?
I think all collaborations need to have structure that for accountability purposes. I mean, everybody has a job or a role to play in collaboration. So making sure everybody's doing their part in that collaboration, that's essential.
Okay, and I ask that because the school board is responsible for making the decisions for the school system. They're responsible for the school system, but the future of our community is dependent on Troup County school system.
Absolutely.
Is the 15 years from now, the workers here locally are from the Troup County school system. Mm-hmm. And if we're not doing everything we can to pour into our children to make sure that our schools are successful, then we're limiting the potential of our community. And so that's why I ask, does there need to be more collaboration between all the leadership because of the importance of our school system?
I just absolutely think so. I mean, any collaboration you can get with other authorities or other, whether it's a business, whether it's a government, collaborations are great if they're done in the right way. But there has to be structure in collaboration for accountability purposes.
Okay. What do you see as the biggest challenge for Troup County school system right now?
Teacher burnout and the overcrowding of our schools. I mean, we're building, but our schools are still the same size. Hogansville, for instance, we've had the same size school since I went to school in Hogansville in '96, when I was in middle school at Hogansville. And we need more space there. I mean, Hogansville is a growing town, and I mean, we've been promised a space. We hadn't gotten it yet, but we would love to have it. And also, rings the same for other schools. And when I talk about teacher burnout, I mean, I think it's hard for our teachers today, especially the way the classrooms are structured with, you have your special needs kids, your exceptional learners, and your, everyday learners in the same classroom. That is hard for teachers, and I know a lot of teachers in the system, and I think that's the hardest part for them, is trying to teach all of these kids that are on totally different levels at the same time. And I think that's part of why we're not retaining the great talent we need, because we're not structuring our schools the right way to not only enhance the kids' learning, but enhance the teachers' experience as well.
How would you recommend modifications to that?
So what we don't want is, to separate totally or segregate classrooms based on needs. But I do think that if we add additional parapros in the class, or even different materials for those students that learn on a different level, maybe, they're not ready for the same thing as the exceptional learner, and these teachers are teaching basically 3 classes at the same time. And that's it's not possible. I mean, the teachers are doing a great job with it now, but I think that we can, employ new things like I was saying, mentor programs where we can actually pull the kids out that need more help, pull them out and help them have additional staff to help them while the exceptional learners are learning on, their pace. We can implement new strategies, teaching strategies. I mean, there are specialists. I mean, people all over the world specialize in different things. It's about getting the right people in the right places to make those right changes. I'm not an expert in the classroom, though. I worked in a Head Start classroom, totally different than the school system. So I can't speak to how I would restructure the class, but I know that there are professionals out there that's their job. They, day in and day out, go to schools and, contract with schools and teach them better ways of doing things. it's okay to reach out for help. We tell kids all the time, ask for help, ask for help. As a grown up, we can ask for help too.
Right. The funding for arts has been reduced over the past decades. Do you think that there needs to be more funding for the arts and music?
Absolutely. Arts and funding, when you think about schools, you think about art was my favorite class. I can't even draw a straight line, yet art was my favorite class. I wanted to go to school because it was fun. Music was fun. Chorus, I can't sing, but the people in chorus, they had a great time. And I just think it brings that fun element back to schools. And if we are pulling out the things that the children enjoy, that makes them want to go to school even less.
Right. I want to ask you about the taxes, property taxes for seniors. So 4 to 5 years ago, there was a push to eliminate property tax school portion for seniors. There ended up being a modification where it was reduced for those most economically challenged. There's still sometimes the push for elimination of the tax for seniors for the school system portion of the taxes because we have neighboring or counties nearby that do that.
Right.
They don't require taxes, property taxes for seniors for the school portion. What is your position on that?
So I think that everybody is responsible for pouring into our kids. Now, I do understand that some cannot financially do that, and that's okay. There should be some type of abatement for those people. However, when you talk about pulling resources for a school that needs more resources already, that's a hard subject. And I mean, I think that it could cause a disparity between younger homeowners and older homeowners that should not be there. I also think that that people should want to pour into the kids. That's my thing. I don't care how old I get. I don't care whose child's in that school. As long as I'm pouring into a child's future, that's the main goal. And if we want our community to be a better community, we have to continually pour into these kids. I mean, until the end of time. And that's just the way I feel about it. And I mean, I don't feel like if I have a grandchild in school, of course I would want to pour into that grandchild. But if my friend has a grandchild in school, I want to pour into her grandchild as well. And it shouldn't be, well, I'm older and I don't have to pay taxes and, I've done my share. I understand, but the share is never really done if you love kids. And that's just the way I feel about it.
And eventually, all of the youth will be taking care of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's the, the circle of life. Like your mom takes care of you and in the end you take care of your mom. And I mean, it's the same with kids.
Oh, well, Beth, I want you to take a couple minutes and tell the public why they should vote for you for school board.
The reason you should vote for me is because my heart is in the right place and I'm here for the right reason. I love kids. I've always been passionate about kids and education, and I will be the voice for you and your child in District 3, Hogansville's district. I believe that, it should be tailored. We should tailor our needs for every student, every success. It should be tailored to each student, and I'm here to be that voice and that advocate for you and your children.
Well, Beth, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you.